So a Retroid Pocket 5 caught on fire. Now what? So I was on the Retroid Pocket subreddit a few days ago, and this was the top post. My Retroid Pocket 5 blew up. That does not look good at all. And as someone who owns the Retroid Pocket 3, owns the Retroid Pocket 5, and recently just pre-ordered the Retroid Pocket 6 ever since they got the configuration to get the joystick on top, yeah, well, I think this concerns me a little bit. So we're going to be taking a little dive into this Reddit post to see what could have potentially caused this, and also possibly ways to prevent this from happening to other Retroid Pocket 5 users. So according to the person who posted this, they were charging their Retroid Pocket 5 with a 65-watt MacBook charger, and that's what I personally use to charge my phone, my Retroid Pocket 5, and my laptop. So that's definitely very scary. Looks like the battery completely exploded. The joystick is gone. There's burn marks on the surface of the table. Looks like there's fire extinguisher stuff all over. I'm just really glad that there wasn't more damage, because with all these cables around, it could have spread. Like, electrical fires are no joke. And this is only one out of the 3 photos that they sent over. Oh my gosh, it's gone. The entire backside, I believe it's the left, the right side of the device. I'm just glad the entire house didn't catch on fire. That is crazy. That is a lot of damage. It didn't look that crazy compared to this. The entire backside is gone. Tried to remember where mine was, and it was just chilling on some flammable couch pillows, fast charging. Yeah, we definitely need to be very careful going forward with these devices, because who knows? Any of our devices could be a ticking time bomb that could just explode when it's unattended while it's charging. Retroid Pocket devices are considered budget devices, and they're a lot cheaper than their competitors. That's why they're so popular. Their performance to price ratio is just perfect, but there could be a reason why. They could be skimping out on the components inside, like the battery. I'm personally not sure. The batteries in these devices are the dogs that aren't barking loud enough. I would gladly pay more for the peace of mind of having a higher quality battery. Just as I was saying, like, if there's a good replacement option that we can purchase online for these devices, I will gladly open this thing up and replace the battery, as long as it means that, you know, it's not gonna blow up on me at any moment. It does scare me, the fact that this has happened at least one time. This could be a super rare case, like 0.0001% chance of this happening, but I'm still not willing to take the chance. Like, 1 second I could be playing the Retroid Pocket 5 on the plane, next second the entire plane is crashing down because this thing decided to catch on fire. I don't want something like that to happen, but obviously that's the worst case scenario. It's just a random scenario that I brought up. So someone commented, please update us with how Retroid responds. Just curious. And there was a reply that said, at this point, that's all that matters. My theory is Retroid is far too aggressive when charging past 80%. Like, it doesn't appear to taper off like most electronics do as they near 100% battery. This thing charges way too fast in my opinion. Like, I'll plug it in, next thing you know, it goes from like 50% to 100% pretty quickly. Some people have been suggesting to use 5-watt slow chargers, but that might be too slow if you ask me. Like, if I'm playing Steam games through GameHub, this thing eats up like 20% in like maybe 30 minutes of gaming, maybe even less than that. So 5 watts is not going to be, like, me personally, I'm not going to be using a 5-watt slow charger. I know I'm contradicting myself, but I bought this thing to be able to play games. I'm not going to like limit myself to slow charging it and then like hold back on the performance. I'm here to push this thing to the limit. I charge mine with the Steam Deck charger all the time. And keep in mind, the Retroid Pocket 5 has been released for almost a year, if not longer than that. And I've only had this for like a month. And there hasn't been like too many instances where it blows up. This might be a super rare case, like I've mentioned before. You know, I'm always a bit skeptical of these Chinese devices, although I thought Retroid was better quality. Shouldn't happen regardless of charger. There should be controls in place. Doesn't mean it'll happen to anyone else, but you are correct to speak up about it. You had a burnt desk. Someone else could have, I don't know, a burnt airplane. Exactly. That's exactly what I was saying. Initiated self-destruct for the incoming RP6. Yeah, it knew it was coming. It knew it was coming. coming. It was like, all right, my time is done. When I got my Retroid Pocket 4 Pro, I charged it a couple times with my fast charger. The second time I picked it up, it was uncomfortably hot. Haven't used it since. I'm way too paranoid. Dude, you spent like over $100 to not use it. Haven't used the RP4 or the charger. Thanks for clarifying, because I was like, dude, you just spent like over $100, maybe $200 to not use it. I've heard that small batteries blow up because of overheating. One scenario that can be dangerous is using a device, getting it hot, and then plugging it into a charger. On devices without thermal controls of batteries, this could lead to trouble. And this is why iPhone will stop charging when it's warm, even if the warmth is coming from direct sunlight heating it up. My Retroid Pocket 4 Pro recently had its spicy pillow. I've been using a slow charger all throughout its lifespan, so obviously it can't be using a slow charger that could fix this. Because look, that's just how it's gonna be with lithium ion batteries. Like my PSP Slim from like years ago just had an expanded battery, and I had to get it replaced because I didn't want any fires to start or any issues to happen going forward. I don't even think it was working anymore. So let me know down below in the comments your thoughts on this situation of Retroid Pocket 5 catching on fire and blowing up, and mostly caused by the battery or the charger. Could be either or. We're just gonna have to wait and see how Retroid responds to this. But in the meantime, my suggestion to avoid your Retroid Pocket 5 catching on fire is to continue charging it the way you do. But just make sure you don't leave it unattended, and also don't charge it overnight. I've multiple times I've charged this thing overnights, and sometimes it does get, you know, uncomfortably hot when I come back to it. And it also doesn't help that I have this like silicone case that I got from AliExpress around it. It's super comfortable, by the way. I would recommend this right here. It's way cheaper too. It's like $5 or $7. I also have the official Retroid Pocket grip as well, but I prefer this way more. It's more compact, feels better ergonomics in my opinion. And I also don't recommend keeping it in a case unless you're actually carrying it around. And if you are going to be carrying it in a case, make sure you turn this thing off, because you don't want this thing to just start overheating while it's in the case. And of course, if you can, replace the battery with a higher quality battery that you can find online. That's probably what my next steps are gonna be when it comes to this. But in the meantime, just make sure you watch this thing, because this thing could be a ticking time bomb for all we know. So anyways, I appreciate you guys for watching this video. Thank you guys. Just wanted to give my 2 cents on this, and also just talk about this because I've made multiple videos about the Retroid Pocket 5, and I want to make sure that you guys are well informed if you guys were thinking about purchasing this device, or if you guys are already an owner of this device and you don't keep up with stuff like this. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.